Hey, and welcome to this week's Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy live show. My name is Ashley Conway. I am a marketing strategy coach and a copywriter for service obsessed businesses. I have 20 plus years of experience in the marketing industry, and I am passionate about customer experience. My very first job out of college was at this very large insurance company. And one of the things I was tasked with later in my years there was to audit their customer experience. So we worked with individual policyholders, not people who had insurance through their work, but people who bought it on their own. So I was tasked with going through their whole experience to see how could we make it better? Where were there challenges? Where were there places that we really weren't serving them well? So some of the things that we did, I found obviously one of the hardest parts of having insurance is when you get that letter in the mail that's like your premium's going to stay the same or it's going to go up. Nobody likes seeing that. So one of the things that we did was to rewrite that whole thing to give it a more friendly tone, more understanding that that was a hard thing to receive, and also to tell them, if your premiums are going up and this is now unaffordable to you, here are a couple of options that you can pick that will keep your premium the same or even lower it. And it was an automatic thing for them. They didn't even have to call in. They could just choose one of those downgraded plans and then keep their costs, kind of stable. And that was just one of the things. I mean, cost was a huge deal for our customers. So I created this rising costs of healthcare brochure, print. It was really the way to go back in the day. And it was explaining like, these are the reasons health costs are going up. And that just kind of lit the fire for me. I mean, I went to conferences on customer experience and I studied it. And it really ignited a passion in me that this really does make a difference. The experience you are creating for your customers is everything. And so that's why we have been doing this series the past couple of weeks on customer experience. And last week was when we talked about why great customer service could be your best marketing move in 2025. When people feel genuinely seen and cared for, they know that they're more than just a number, a transaction, a purchase, and they are going to stick around and they're going to tell others about how great your business is. So this week, what we're going to do is to get your creative juices flowing. I'm going to share 10 real life examples of wow customer experiences that will inspire you. So what we're going to do, I would recommend that you create a space for this type of, this is different than what we usually do. This is a storytelling show. So let's give room for your creativity, that side of your brain to come alive now and to really be able to, think of new ideas and to brainstorm. So we're going to put the logical side of your brain, we're going to give it a break. So if you're watching this, listening to this at your computer, shut down your email, eliminate all your other distractions, lock your office door, whatever you have to do. If you're on a walk, you could be in your car, do it when nobody else is in the car with you. We want to quiet the things around us as much as we can so we can give our creativity a chance to hear some of these ideas and to come up with new ones, ways that you can apply these ideas, these stories, perhaps to your own business, or they may spur completely new ideas that would be perfect for your business. So sit back, enjoy some of these stories, and I trust that they will generate some great ideas for your business. So here we go. Number one is the Starbucks memory. A woman in her third trimester walked into Starbucks, obviously just completely exhausted and drained. The barista not only offered her a seat while she waited, but also walked her drink over and included a note that said, "You're doing amazing." And the woman cried right there at the counter. So this was like a nothing deal, right? This barista didn't do anything super grand. She didn't spend any extra money. She just took the time instead of being so consumed by her own job to notice this woman who is obviously very pregnant, very tired, probably wants that baby out so badly, just to say, I see you. I know what you're going through. And I just want to take a minute to make you feel, known and loved. So it was just a note. Number 2, the Chick-fil-A shortcut is what we're calling this one. After a long day of errands, a dad accidentally ordered the wrong kid's meal, right? Instead of making him go back in line, a team member brought out the right meal that he had wanted, added a free cookie, and told him, you've got your hands full. We've got you. I know these are giving me all like the warm fuzzies. Let's go to number 3, the Zappos rescue. A customer called Zappos to return shoes she had bought for her late mother. Her mother had recently passed away. Not only did Zappos accept the return, they overnighted flowers and a condolence card to her home the next day. She told 100 friends and probably 10,000 strangers. Number 4, the Chewy vet bill. After a dog passed away, a pet owner called Chewy to cancel their their subscription, their auto ship of food. And that customer service rep processed the refund, then told them to just donate the food to a shelter. 2 days later, flowers and a sympathy note arrived for their loss. Number 5, the Trader Joe's snowstorm delivery. During a storm, an elderly man couldn't get his groceries. His daughter called around, and Trader Joe's, who doesn't normally deliver, made a special exception and brought over soup and essentials free of charge. Number 6, the Ritz-Carlton giraffe. A little boy left his stuffed giraffe behind, and the hotel overnighted it back home, along with photos of his little stuffy lounging by the pool and getting a massage, so he'd know the giraffe had just taken a little vacation too. Number 7, the Disneyland buttons. A family celebrating their adoption day showed up at Disneyland. A cast member saw their shirts that said that they were celebrating that and brought over buttons and fast passes saying, families like yours make the magic real. Number 8, the Southwest flight hold. A man running late for a Southwest flight due to traffic called ahead, and the pilot personally delayed takeoff by 12 minutes to make sure that the man could make it on the flight so he could get to his dying mother's bedside. Number 9, the Delta teddy bear. A child lost her beloved teddy bear on a Delta flight. Her parents, called to say it was missing. Could anybody find it? They're hoping for the best. Not only did Delta find it, they mailed it back with a handwritten letter from the bear describing his adventure in the clouds and included a pair of pilot wings as a souvenir. And here's number 10, the Nordstrom tire return. This is the kicker. Years ago, a man walked into a Nordstrom store and tried to return a set of tires. Nordstrom doesn't sell tires, but instead of turning him away, the associate honored the return anyway. The backstory was that this man had purchased the tires from a store that used to be where Nordstrom was then. And they accepted the return, even though it wasn't their product. This story became legend, and it cemented Nordstrom's place in, customer experience Hall of Fame, so to speak. So those 10 were incredible and thoughtful, warm stories. This is the kind of thing we love to hear about a business doing. And I think it's because so often we expect that businesses are just about business. They're all business. They're all about their sales and profits. And, it's all a numbers game. And that's kind of the way we subconsciously, think of businesses. But you hear stories like this, And the business part kind of fades to the background, and it becomes about the people, the team members that work for these companies and the people that they serve. And what all of these have in common is that the team members, the employees, felt empowered to, to be kind, even if it cost money. In some cases, a lot of money. In some cases, nothing. But they felt that they had the power to make those decisions and to be kind without having, to waste time checking it with their management's management, looking, do we have the budget for this month? That type of thing. They felt that they were able to be kind, and not only that they were able, they obviously had the margin that they weren't so rushed fulfilling their job duties that they didn't even have time to really see the people that they were serving, much less think about, how can I go the extra mile? So, I mean, these are ways that it really is about customer service. It's not anything you have to have a process for necessarily. You have to script, you have to put in automation to make sure it happens. It's just looking at things a little bit different way. And maybe you can encourage your team to do that with like a morning huddle or something like that, that just read them one of these stories and explain, we're empowering you to do the same thing, to really think about the customers first and to see them as people, not as sales, and to do what you can to lighten their load and brighten their day. So what I'm going to do is to create, I want you to still be able to refer to these stories just as inspiration. So I'm going to be creating just a one-pager that has these stories in there that you can refer to, and I will drop the link here in the show notes so you can access that at any time. And this is just something to think on, like I said, to inspire you to think, what could we do at different parts? If these problems happen, if our customers experience these problems, what could we do to really go above and beyond and wow them with, just a great customer service experience? So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to map out your customer experience plan. If you're not sure about, if all of this is very new to you, most of you are going to think about ways that you can, that have great customer service. But a lot of times it's not necessarily an actual plan for ensuring that it gets done. You just, wait to be inspired or wait to kind of see a situation and then you act then. But there are ways to create a plan to make sure that at certain points in a customer's journey, they do experience a wow customer service moment. So if you're not sure how to do that, that is something that Power Hour coaching is perfect for. In 60 minutes, we will identify what you're already doing and what's working, what's not, and what you can do to build and improve your customer experience to create stronger relationships and get better results. You can learn more about that at beweirdmarketing.com/Power Hour. I trust this has been inspirational, and the wheels are already turning about things that you could do in your business to create wow customer experiences. I can't wait to chat with you next week. Have a great week until then.